Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing good. In today's video, we are playing around with Let's Resin. This video is sponsored by Let's Resin. They've sent me a beautiful new mold and new colours. The colours are stunning. This mold is beautiful. My Let's Resin rep did ask me if I wanted to play with it. Immediately, yes. Immediately, because it is beautiful. This is an alphabet initial letter keyring mold. Every letter in the alphabet, of course, nothing missed out. And you get your keyring attachments as well. And she is a beauty in flower shapes. We've got multiple levels, so potentially 3 layers of resin in each flower, if that is what you wish. That is what we're doing in today's video. And yes, it did take me days. It took me days. I've been working on this one for a long time. It looks like each one takes 3.4 fluid ounces, but genuinely, no, I didn't measure it. I didn't measure it because I went in layers. So again, this is what the mold looks like. She is a beauty. They are a generous size as well. We are, of course, using the Let's Resin resin. PPE is going on with my gloves and my mask. And they sent me these. These are the Let's Resin epoxy resin pigment pastes. Now, I am excited for these because I don't often use liquid pigments apart from black and white. But look at these colors, guys. Oh my gosh, you already know I'm in love with that cyan. If you are new here, my favorite color is blue. All of the blues, every blue you can imagine, and that cyan has got my name written all over it. So this epoxy resin, again, is Let's Resin crystal clear, although you can see bubbles now because I'm mixing, but crystal clear resin when finished, and it's mixed 1:1. So part A, part B, 1:1. First up, we're using the black liquid pigment. Each and every letter. Now, again, if you've got this mold, you have to do whatever makes your heart happy and go with whatever color schemes you like. But in my head, I just wanted some is that the right word? Cohesion? I don't know. Also, hi, I'm midlife and I don't know my words anymore because they've gone. But I wanted it to be cohesive. So I wanted every single initial letter on these keyrings to be black. I knew at that point they would stand out no matter what I put in them. And that is what we went with. So I did not make a lot of resin to start with. I just needed enough to fill each and every letter of the alphabet in this mold. This pigment as well is super opaque. So I did put about 3 drops of black in there to make it jet opaque. Like, I'm never going to see through this. This is block opaque color. Gorgeous. And again, did I make a mess? I mean, listen, I did try. I really did try to be neat in this. Like, I was as neat as I could possibly be, guys. I promise you. But yes, there's a few drips. Now, these cups are ideal for your smaller pieces. If you're pouring into small areas, you could use pipettes or you could use these small cups. Again, these are from Let's Resin. Now, these cups are perfect. I find pipettes quite tricky because sometimes they get air in them and then I'm squishing out air and I get lots of air bubbles. So I find these cups a lot easier. However, I was making quite a mess. So it did take a minute before I realized that instead of just wiping the bottom with my other hand, I would use the back of a mold, which worked a dream. I have these very small silicone molds. I've just turned it over and I'm using it as like a scooping tray. So a little tip there for you. If you're new to resin and you're doing anything like this and you're getting a lot of drips, because again, it's a very messy process, all of these little intricate details, you often get drips on your cups. Just one of these. Just turn a mold upside down. Use it as a scrapey, offy drip tray. That's the only way I can describe it. Now, at this point, I did use a pipette just to fill them up to the top and give them a little tiny bit of a dome. That wasn't essential. You do not need to do this step, but I just felt like I wanted to. And again, I got I got air bubbles. So pipettes are not my favorite tool to use when it comes to resin, just because they spurt out lots of air. Now, this is 24 hours later. Again, we are using the Let's Resin resin. This resin has been through the Let's Resin bubble removing machine and it has been mixed by the Let's Resin mixing machine. Game-changing machine for the Let's Resin mixer. I can't do without it now. Unless I'm making only a teeny tiny amount of resin, I use that mixing machine every single video. I've got 2 now. One was sent to me. I bought one myself because I love it that much. Now, next layer is going in. This is just a clear layer. It is botanical. We are in our spring botanical season, so inspired by Bridgerton, of course. We are going with a crystal clear layer of resin and a layer of flowers in each and every keyring. Okay, it's a lot of keyrings, guys. That's why it took me so long. So just a clear layer being poured down into the center of each and every one. Now, again, some areas of this video are sped up for you because trust me, if I left it in real time, we would all be sitting here for about an hour and a half. It took a while to individually place down all of the flowers and the leaves and all of the little yummy bits that I'm putting into this. So there are areas sped up. I would rather speed up the video than cut it out completely, but let me know what you would prefer to watch down in the comment section below. Now, once I'd poured this clear layer into each and every letter of the alphabet, I'm using the Let's Resin heat gun just to give them all a really quick once over. Like, I'm not spending lots of time. I am literally just going over each and every letter with the heat gun to rid any air bubbles. Now, of course, the more you're pouring resin, the more you will see the odd occasional air bubble popping in, and this is the only reason I'm doing it. The resin itself at this point is pretty crystal clear, but you do sometimes get 1 or 2, and I don't want them in there. So also, I've never used this mold before, so I don't know those lips, so those flower petal edges, I couldn't quite work out if they were 90 degrees straight down flat or if they went under, like if there was an actual underneath as well. Couldn't work it out visually. So here you see me using my micro brush tool just to be sure that if those petals go underneath, that I need to make sure there's no air getting trapped under there. As it happens, they didn't. They didn't. So I didn't even really need to do this step. But I wanted these to be, dare I say, as perfect as I could possibly get them. So I did. I went through every single letter, every single keyring with my micro brush tool just to be sure there was no air getting trapped anywhere. Now the fun begins, and this is what took the longest time. I bought a ton of pressed dried flowers. I know that white square fell into the mold, but at the time I wasn't really seeing it. But I do remove it, so don't worry, it does get removed any second now. Yeah, I didn't think to myself, right, each and every keyring has to have 2 or 3 flowers and some leaves. I didn't go down that route. I simply just went for it. It's either you're gonna get 2, 3, 4, 5 teeny tiny flowers, or you're going to get 1 giant flower and a leaf. That's it. So I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. I knew that, you know, at the end of the day, we've got some work time with this resin, but we haven't got all day. We haven't got hours to just think about flower placement and where I want everything to go. So for me, it was just a question of placing things down as I saw them and making sure that I'm using not just pink. I'm going to be using other colors as well. And that was it. I genuinely, I didn't want to place too many rules on myself. I hate rules. I hate rules. If you are new here, hello, I'm Claire and I hate rules. I hate it. And quite often I much prefer like a chuck it all in technique, or just, you know, going with the flow and not putting too much pressure on myself, because quite often resin does what resin wants anyway, right? So you can plan all you want, but it might not necessarily come out the way you're expecting it. So in this video, in this creation, I decided I'll just chill out, put the music on and place in where I see a gap. If I want some of the letters to be pretty simple and pared back a bit, then I would simply, you know, not put as much in. Now, next up with the purple flowers, and I immediately thought of Wendy, Toonpish Crafts. Hi, shout out to Wendy, sending lots of love to you. Purple is her favorite color, and I knew before I used any more purple, I had to put all of the purples in the W because this is going to be for Wendy. Will I post it? I should post it this year for sure. If not, I'll give it to her next time I see her. But yeah, the purples had to go in the W for Wendy. And then again, just opening up whichever colours came my way. Now, the leafy twiggy parts of these kits are pretty cool because they don't look like much. But if you just grab a pair of scissors and just snip, like snippety snip, and just hold it over your mould, snip the ends off, it naturally falls in. Yeah, that's it. I'm not being too precious. I'm not trying to put them in delicately. Now, the one thing you do need to do when working with flowers and petals, please, is go easy on the petals. Some of these flowers have got the most delicate petals and they bruise easily. There's a couple of songs in there, honestly, go easy and they bruise easily. Be gentle with them. If you use, like, for example, tweezers, I did start off using tweezers, but honestly, they get caked in resin and then I'm losing it. I'm over it. I don't want to use tweezers anymore. I'd rather go back to my hands because I'm lazy like that. But if you use tweezers with your petals, quite often you can pinch too hard on the petals and you will break them. You'll break the surface of the petal and then the resin will seep into the petal and you'll see it. You'll see it in your final creation. So if you take anything away from this video, even if it means you never want to make this much resin in one go, just be gentle with your petals. Leaves do the same, but you can be a little bit more rough with them. I wouldn't suggest, being brutal with them, but they're a bit more forgiving, if that makes any sense. These leaves here I also love because they've got multiple little leaves on one stem. So whilst I did cut off a few big chunks, I can then break off individual teeny tiny little leaves and just place them in and around wherever I see a gap or wherever I see that I feel that they want to go. Now, next up was the big tray. The big tray came mess and fun. Like, it was all fun. But here's the thing. I spent so long on that first tray arranging the flowers and trying to be neat and trying to do my absolute best of, placement and doing all of the things that, of course, I haven't got hours and hours and hours, right? This is about 30, 45 minutes later. I knew that the resin in this tray was thickening up. So it was a case of, Claire, just get it in, shove it in. So the second tray very much was get it in there, shove it in there, because if you don't do that soon, the resin will get too hard. Let's Resin, I think the work time, please don't quote me on it, but I think the work time on Let's Resin is around about a generous hour. Like, you do get a generous hour and a half. But I'd spent so long on that first tray. I could feel the heat rising. So yeah, the second tray, I made way more mess. It was fun. Not gonna lie, it was fun. But it was a case of rip it, shove it, cut it, clip it, shove it in, poke it in, get it in. Don't think about it. Just get it in wherever you see a gap. Much more so on the second tray. The first tray, it was a bit more intentional, a bit more calmer, a bit more low-key, relaxing. The second tray was just like, go, 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 get it in there quickly. But do you know what? At first, I was like, this is just going to be messy. Like, they're just going to look wrong because I feel like I had to rush this second part, but they don't look it. They have still come out as beautiful, if not some of them more beautiful than tray one. I love random. I love chaos in resin. I love chuck it all in. And I think that's where I feel most myself when I'm doing any resin project. I don't know what it is. I think my niche, I would say that, Claire's Crafty Corner, my niche is like a chuck it all in random chaos resin video. That's where I feel most comfortable. That's where I feel at home. Honestly, that's all I can say. It's taken me years to work out what it is I truly, truly love the most. And that is it. It's this. It's the mess. It's the chaos. It's the random. It's the chuck it all in. But we are done. I've got a little bit of resin left over in this cup, which is really, really getting thick at this point. So I just poured it in. Just get it out, get it in. And we are done. We have to wait now another 24 hours for all of these to fully cure before we back them. How pretty does this tray look? Oh my gosh, this tray. This tray here screams Bridgerton, like all of the purples and the pinks and the beautiful pastel spring shades. Now, it is time for the backing coat. Of course, we're using the Let's Resin. Again, just mixing up quite a bit in here because I know that I need to fill these molds to the very top. Now, I am giving this a stir, scraping the bottoms, scraping the sides before I transfer it over to the Let's Resin mixer machine. Again, I've got 2 of these. One was sent to me. I bought one myself because I cannot live without it. I would have 5. If I could, I'd have 5. But this is what we're looking like close up. Now, most importantly, you can see all the drips, all the dregs, all the drips, all the splodges. I made such a mess on this tray particularly. It is imperative, it's key at this point to get them off. Take them off, clean your mould as much as you can. Now, I'm doing all of this whilst the Let's Resin mixer machine is mixing my resin. That's the beauty of it. I can just put it on there, let the machine do its thing while I crack on and get everything prepared. Now, again, you want those edges to be crisp and clean. You don't want all of those drips that I did, you might, get them off. Get them off of the mould. What they are going to leave the edges of your pieces messy. They potentially could create a path for your resin to spill out and over. We do not want that. We want them as neat as possible. I know it's me saying that. Quite often we don't get those results, but we're trying, all right? We're trying. Now, all of these are going to be backed in these absolutely beautiful, beautiful pigment pastes from Let's Resin. So thank you to my patrons, because I told my patrons I wanted to back all of these in black. I wanted black. I told my patrons, I videoed everything I was doing. My patrons get to see what I'm working on. And I was like, hey guys, so like, this is what I'm doing. I want the backs to be black. And yes, thank you to my patrons, because honestly, pretty much 100% of my patrons said, no, don't do them all in black. They didn't say no, but they encouraged me to go outside of my comfort zone a bit and try bright colours and keep it very much in the spring theme. And yes, so I have my patrons to thank, and you guys have my patrons to thank for this not just being black. I do love black backgrounds. However, my patrons, thank you so much, because the results are seriously beautiful. You guys know me. If you know me, blue. Oh, this colour. Hi, Let's Resin. If you are watching this video, can I please have this colour in a giant bottle? Because this colour is absolutely everything. Did I spill it, drip it everywhere? Yes, I did. I had a little bit of a clean up here before I had to continue. I am basically using each and every one of these pigment pastes, dulled down a bit. Not dulled down, how can I say, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Help me out. I'm adding white to each and every one, just to pare them down. Guys, I don't know where the words have gone. You tell me. They've gone. Long gone. So like the bright green is going to be just a different shade of green. The dark blue is going to be a lighter shade of blue, and all of those things. So with the cyan, I was tempted to leave it, but I did end up using a little bit of white in there because, oh my gosh, look at this color. Look at this color. Honestly, I would have easily just done every single flower with this color. It is beautiful. It is me. It is right up my street, as is black. I know, I'm so random. But I decided to do 3 on this tray and then 3 of each colour on each tray, and then just work out what I've got left and then just go with it from there. So again, with the yellow, stunning bright yellow, very bumblebee. I didn't necessarily want it to be as yellow, so I did add a couple of drops of white just to tone it down a bit, bring it more towards the Eastery pale pastel yellow than the bright yellow straight from the bottle. Again, I wasn't thinking blue goes with pink, yellow goes with purple. I wasn't thinking which colours in the flowers will go with which colour background. I was just doing it. I was just going for it. The bright orange, again, stunning, but this bright orange is very, very pumpkin, very Halloween, Didn't want that bright, bright, bright. So I did, again, add a couple of drops of white to bring it down a bit. Just tone it down. There's the words, guys. I found the word in the back of my mind. There you go. Tone it down. Bring it down. A little bit more pastel-y. I don't turn it pastel, but I'm just getting rid of the pumpkin from the orange. Just to bring it more in keeping with the summery spring calmness of the botanical. So here we are, we've got the 3 oranges going in, and I did exactly the same with the next color. Now, the one color I did not use in the background was pink. I really planned on using some pink. I never did, and I also wanted some white. I never did. So again, it's random, very random. The dark green, again, beautiful forest green color, but I didn't want this darkness, and I was not ready for the color change when I added the white. I genuinely thought it would just go a lighter shade of this green, not knowing what to expect, but the color was absolutely stunning. I could see it turning into an almost teal, turquoise, aqua, stunning bluish color. So again, I was buzzing, absolutely buzzing, because you know that first blue, I really wanted to use more of that. Now we've got this green, tealy, yeah, is that a teal, aqua? What would you call that color? I love it. I absolutely love it. Happy about that. I prefer that to the dark green. Again, trying to keep it more spring-like. Once I was done with this tray, I just used a micro brush tool to drag that resin out to the edges, making sure that each and every flower was fully coated before moving on to the second tray. With the second tray, I continued as I was, again adding some dark blue into this one, but I didn't necessarily want to use the dark navy, so I've added a little bit of white again, pretty much like I did in every single piece. After this, we're just using exactly the same colours we've already mixed up. So we've got the cyan, we've got that greeny blue turquoise, we've got the yellow orangey, you know, we've got all of those colours. This is the only kind of like new addition to the trays. Gorgeous blue once I added some of that white in, and again just doing like 3 of each color basically until I pretty much ran out of resin. I'm just gonna speed this section up for you because again it is quite time consuming to sit through this in real time, but I just went through, grabbed all of the colors that I've made so far and just made sure that each and every flower had a different color background. Now you will see bottom left there is a blank cavity. I love that. You could do whatever you want in that cavity. Now I chose not to use it in today's video, but again, if I did, then you could add your own Cricut vinyl, or you could add your own, you know, Cricut vinyl initial letter if you wanted it to be a letter keychain. Now, last but not least, we're going with the black. I had to have some black in there because I do think black and flowers and leaves work so beautifully together. I've done many videos on my channel using flowers and black and leaves and black as well. So that was that. And again, you'll see that like the half orange, half yellow. Again, that was because I had a little bit of each left, but not enough for one. So just mixing it up there and just adding them in. And we are pretty much done. I do end up getting my micro brush tool and making sure that those blues are fully coated and all of the things. But yeah, it was a long process. Super enjoyable though. Really love this one. If you are still here, thank you so much. If you have just skipped to the end to watch the results, I still appreciate you for being here. But if you've watched throughout, guys, look at this. Oh, she's beautiful. She's a pretty one. She's my favorite so far. And we've only just demolded one. Letter A, stunning. Stunning. It might be because she was my first. She was my first, so I was super neat. B is giving princess. B is giving feminine. C, I just not necessarily keen on the pink and the orange. D is much more pared back. Very simple. We've got a little fern leaf-ish. Not a fern. I know it's not fern. I don't know what it is. It's a leaf. All right. Love it. E, stunning. This color combination, that blue against the pink against the purple. Oh, yes, please. Right up my street. Summer in a keyring. Love. Next up, we've got F. Again, it's nice. It's very calm. This is giving summer meadow, country cottage kitchen vibes. Very pale. The pink against the yellow isn't as impactful. Same with the pink against the orange. Not as impactful, but this H, stop. This is giving me 90s throwbacks. The bright pink and the bright turquoise. Oh my gosh, my favourite, my absolute favourite. Love the leaves. Yes, I've trapped some air bubbles in there. I'm okay with that. This one is giving lavender fields. I know it's not lavender. It is the colour of lavender. It's giving bright blue skies and lavender fields. This one here, summer picnic. It's just gorgeous. Purple and yellow. Oh, mwah. Chef's kiss colour combination. K is messy. K is giving can't be bothered with a K. K is messy. L is delicate. Love it. Love the feminine nature of that one. M, kind of loving. I love that it feels very energized, M. It feels very fiery to me. N, love. I love the black and green. I think the green flowers and leaves are a little bit chaotic in the background. I would have loved more order, okay? Past Claire. Future Claire talking to your past self. O is giving bright blue sky, sunny day with a daffodil against it. I know it's not a daffodil as well. P, again, we're coming back. We're coming back to the much calmer, delicate, feminine. Q is much of a nothing. There's nothing really to talk about with Q. R, I'm loving that fiery energy of the yellows. But this one, I'm loving the combination of the orange and yellow. It's giving fruit cocktail sweets. Again, not much to see in the way of the flower or the leaves, but the colours are screaming summer. They are screaming spring and summer. Love the combination of the yellow. This one again, daffodils against a bright blue sky. I know it's not a daffodil. I know it's not, but that's what it feels like. U, I love the orange flowers in here. They're so cool and delicate. V, I mean, you know, but W. W is a wow. It's my absolute favourite. Those individual, look, I didn't even do it intentionally. I've put a little flower in each and every petal of the flower. Did not mean to. I just wanted to make it pretty for the purples. And that's how it turned out. X, love. Love, love, love. Yellow against black. Come on. Stop. Stunning. It's giving bumblebee vibes. Love, love, love. Now, why again? Why? I don't know. Not feeling it. I love the green against the blue, but Z is up there as one of my favourites. The giant green leaf that went in here, as well as this little green leaf, a little bit of pink flowery petals against the black. Stunning, stunning. My favourite. Hands down. The black and green, it just works. I love it. Now, there are a few favourites in here and there's a few least favourites. I would say the finish on these is practically perfect. Only one or two little edge bubbles, but nothing to write home about. Honestly, I loved this. It has taken me days. Let me tell you, it's taken me days. If you're still here, thank you so much, because this was a long video. H is up there as one of my absolute favourite colour combinations. Again, throwing me right back to the 90s. The greens, the blacks, love, 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 but it's the blues. And that W, just stunning. My favourite result. You know, if you had a resin that had like a 6-hour work time so that you could individually place a teeny tiny flowers into each individual petal on these molds, winner, absolute winner, because that W is it. Absolutely it. Now, I've just grabbed all my favourites. These are my 4 favourites. The H because of the colour combination. The S because, oh my gosh, stop. Look at the orange and the yellow together. Beautiful. The E because of that pop of pink against the blue. And the Z because of the green against the black. I love them all for their own different qualities and own individual styles and looks. Like, I put a lot into this video. Like, it was long. Did I mention it was long? If you enjoy my content and you are still here, please do not forget to give me a hype. If you haven't used all of your hypes yet, please give me a hype, or if not, just like this video. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Now, this keyring set does come with all of the keyrings and a few spares, actually, a few spares for every single keyring in the mold. Now, really easy to assemble. The little jump rings go straight through the holes, super easy, and this is what we're looking like afterwards. Now, I'm going to spare you all of that pain because this took me a while. It took me way long, but I love them. I absolutely love them. I think they're the perfect springtime, botanical, gardening, flower-esque addition to the video series. Let's Resin, thank you so much for sending these over to me. They are beautiful. And of course, everything in this video is sponsored by Let's Resin, the resin itself, the colours, the moulds, everything will be linked down below. I hope you feel inspired and take something away from this video that is going to help you in your future resin creations. But this was a big, mammoth project for me, and I loved every second of it, and the results speak for themselves. Practically perfect, dare I say it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.